What's up, y'all? Aïssatou here. Today is the first episode of Destination Black, which is a new video interview series that I'm doing here on our channel where I interview different amazing people who have inspired me on my journey as a way to uplift their story and to see if their journey sparks a light in you, to see if there's something that they say that resonates with you or your life journey that you say, hey, I can make a change in my life. I can make a change that I've always wanted to make. I can go after the things I've always wanted to go after. So let all of these interviews serve as a source of inspiration for whenever you are kind of feeling lost or down. Just put on one of these videos and listen to these amazing interviews. So today, our first interview is with Novel Kulture. Novel Kulture was one of the first Black van life couples that I know. I saw on YouTube sharing their journey with a wide audience, where they're sharing with us how they went from being in the Navy to then students in San Francisco and moving into their van as a way to save money. So get ready, listen to this podcast, video, whatever, kind of all these things. You can watch it or you can just plug in your headphones, have it playing in the background while you're doing some work. But anyways, let me know what you think of the video. Drop any comments that you have below. Give this video a like if you enjoyed it so that I can make more of these. And I hope that you enjoy. So thank you all for joining me today. I actually want to get started by asking you a bit about how you transitioned from being in the Navy to then going to starting school full time and what that was like for you all.
So starting school happened immediately as soon as we got out of the military. And we were both going to school full time in Los Angeles. So I was going to Los Angeles Pierce College for business administration. And
I was going for acting at the New York Film Academy.
And Paris had her stuff together. You know, she knew why she was there. She had a purpose. Me, I really didn't know what I was doing. So the time in LA, being a full-time student, was a small chapter, and that carried directly on into San Francisco. But yeah, for me, it was a vacation, I would say, getting out of the military and going to Los Angeles for that year. It was mainly a vacation where we what do we do? I'm trying to, put it together. Help me out.
Oh. I don't know where you was going with it.
Okay, yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I think you was just talking about how difficult school was to get back into after having such a structured life in the military.
Yeah, I never went to college. I kind of thought about what college was going to be like, but it was like running into a brick wall once getting out of the military. So, yeah, for me, I don't know. Her, it was different.
Jumping out of the military to go to school was the most exciting part of my life, because I always joined the military just for them to pay for my education. And once I finally completed what I had to do so that I could get my school paid for, it was the most exciting feeling ever. But financially, we weren't where we wanted to be, and we didn't take the proper precautions to set ourselves up financially. So that was a real big downer.
Yeah. We don't want to go too far off of education.
yeah, that was my answer.
Yeah.
And y'all mentioned having structure in the Navy to like not having as much structure immediately after. I noticed that you all like work out a lot and share that online. and also we'll share like, oh, we're in school, we're doing these things, this is what our life looks like. How have you, like, are there any ways that you've built structure back into your life to kind of get you focused?
Well, once we moved into the van, uh, we just kind of fast forwarding time. We first created a budget, uh, summer 2017, and created a schedule that we continuously work to sculpt, and that continuously bites us in the butt, um, month after month. But yeah, so that's as much structure as we want, is that schedule, um, and creating one where it's basically both of our schedule is shared. So her stuff it comes up as a different color, but it's in there, and it goes through time, um, and it kind of helps us structure our day, structure uh, projects and stuff like that. But we still got some work to do in terms of making sure that schedule sticks, because it often evades us. Um, yeah. So we don't want that military structure. That's why we got out. Um, so yeah, schedule and budget kind of structuring our lives.
Yeah, because in the military we had the same daily routine every single day, like the same
0600,
thing.
0600 muster, 1100 muster right before child, and then getting back from child, another muster, and then at the end of work, another muster. What? Uh, 1500, 1530.
Something like
That's
that.
330.
Yeah, so we just had to make sure that we stayed on top of our schedule, like made sure that we just stuck to our daily routine and schedule everything, because that's what happened in the military. They scheduled everything, they had everything planned ahead of time, and that's what we just had to get back to that scheduling part.
And if your butt don't get there, then there's gonna be consequences. So
Really, really bad.
That's real though. I feel you on scheduling and budgeting. That's like holds life together a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And y'all mentioned a lot in your journey about how living in a van has like helped you all financially and on your financial journey. Could you speak a little bit about how you all changed your mindset to be able to be in a place where you were even able to plan for, okay, this is how we should do it, this is how we should budget. How were you able to like go from not really thinking about these things as intensely to then making these financial moves?
Mm-hmm.
uh,
Wait, ask that question again, a little bit more simpler. I don't want to give you a long-winded answer.
Basically, kind of if there was a moment or something, an event or something that basically helped you change your mindset to go from, okay, kind of just not really thinking intensely about finances to let's get our stuff together and get us on a path so that we can do everything that we want to do.
Oh yeah. There definitely was a situation where we lived in Woodland Hills in what it was like. It was probably like April of 2017.
end of April.
Yeah, the end of April, and we got a call from a debt collector like late at night. They don't stop calling. They call all throughout the day. So we got a really late call. We was like, you know what? We got to pay this debt because we cannot keep dodging these people. They were calling all the time, and our credit score was just dropping. And then everything from our credit score started affecting. Like our insurance started like getting affected. Our credit cards started getting affected. They started raising the interest rate on everything. That was a point where we was like, we need to figure out what we're gonna do, because we can't just continue living life and not paying these people back, because our credit score gonna continue to mess up. It's gonna continue to be broke. It's just like the whole cookie just was crumbling, and it was just like, we need to do something. And that was the moment. It was that debt collector call at like 10 o'clock at night.
Yeah, and then we already had the van, and we had already taken a few trips in the van before. I mean, it was just a shell, but we had air mattress in there ever since we were in the military. Because by that time we've had the van for almost 2 years now. So, uh, and then after we moved into the van within 30 days, we finally got our budget together. At least started August that year. So between that May, we did the trip. Then we came and did our first summer semester here in San Francisco. And then on that break, we started the budget. That thing is sparse, especially because in the Google Sheets you can see it as we built on it and changed it from then all the way to now. So yeah, it was that spark of, hey, where's my money? You know, Stewie, how he beat up Brian. Where's my money? Yeah, we didn't want that. So
Yeah.
And since you mentioned that you all had actually taken trips in the van with an air mattress before, what kind of sparked you all to decide, hey, let's just get on the road and go?
No, well, now the getting on the road and going part. I don't know. How did we decide that we're gonna take the trip?
The trip was decided because this one weekend we had like a 3-day weekend, and that's the only day we get off in the military. Is we get off on the weekend. That's it. If there's a holiday, we get off on the holidays too. But if you have duty, you got to stay at the ship. So we both had a weekend free, and Lavelle had the van, and we were just like, I was getting out of here. We was like, we want to go to LA. Let's go. Let's just travel. You know what I mean? And we wasn't supposed to leave because you cannot leave. You can't just be leaving the city.
Yeah.
You got to get permission and everything from the military to just be getting up and going. So we snuck out. We snuck to LA, and we were just like, let's try this. And so when we snuck there, we was just like, this is amazing just to be able to not pay for hotels. So
Yeah, because yeah, and that was just from Seattle to LA.
Yeah.
And this is the first trip that we've ever taken together. And then it was in a van. So yeah, I think that was the first trip we've taken.
Yeah, it was in 2015, I think it was.
2015, and we had just got the van. So there was, for business purposes, but it wasn't, even if it's a business van, you still have to build it out, and that didn't happen yet. Good thing it didn't happen, and we built it into a home instead.
That was a preview. This is a little bit building you had did to it.
Like what? Oh, I did. Oh,
I think you put a little desk in it.
Yeah, I had a little desk in there. Oh wow, I just remembered that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah.
And since y'all have done like several cross-country road trips since then, are there any places or anything that like during your road trips you're like surprised or unexpected, that whether it's like you saw or people that you met?
People that we met that was unexpected. We've met a lot of subscribers. We met a couple subscribers while we were just traveling, and they randomly saw us. Like, we were one time going to the Sprout grocery store, and the woman, I cannot remember her name. True. Yeah. She was wearing all purple, and she was like, "Hey, I know you."
Soft guard. We was
dusty, and that was so unexpected that somebody will recognize us because we had just a few subscribers at the moment. We didn't have many.
Yeah, we had just started a channel. We're in the middle of the trip, and then somebody recognizes us out of nowhere, like no prep, no, hey, we'll be at Sprouts, just bang, right there. And then also, for me, we were driving through Mississippi, and the gas station is created to kind of look like, there was this one gas station that was created to look like a plantation, and that surprised me.
Right.
Because on one side it looks like a plantation, but on the other side it's a Arco or something like that. And then that was where we looked like we didn't belong. We went in there to look at some of the stuff, and it was like this is how we was being looked at, right? out the side of these. So it was like dipped on out of there. But yeah, that was surprising.
Have you had any experiences like that where you've like seen a subscribe or anything unexpected?
So far, no, because honestly, so far we've only been from Oakland down to LA down to Arizona, and like for the most part, we only had like 500 subscribers, people that knew us. So we actually haven't run into anybody yet. But that'll be I feel like it'll be a very dusty, not running into. Especially on videos, I feel like it's like we're like more energized. But like if I'm just at the store, I'm just not energized.
You didn't say, "Oh, let me put on the camera."
Yeah.
Get my outline together. What I'm gonna talk about. Bang, subscriber.
Mm-hmm. It's gonna be crazy.
Yeah, I'm like it'll be interesting, exciting. We'll see. Since y'all were actually like some of the like probably the first Black van lifers that I know I saw on YouTube, what made you all decide, hey, let's start filming this and sharing this online?
Well, so when we were researching, we were in a hot tub and smoking a joint. We were discussing that we were gonna. This conversation was pretty open about where we were gonna go, and it was natural to bring up van life and then look into van life. And once we did that, we didn't really see Black folks. We weren't looking for Black van life at the time. We didn't know that existed. And when we started to do our YouTube channel, we were already in the van. We moved out of our Woodland Hills apartment, and since she was still going to the New York Film Academy, we were dwelling in Burbank area. And then we started working in iMovie and Avid Media Composer, trying to learn how to do this YouTube thing. And once we started it, we then began our viewers and our early viewers and subscribers would point people out to us. Chris Vanner, the Divine Zeal, and people who were basically doing their thing in the summer 2017. But there weren't any couples. We saw one old video of a couple renovating an RV, and it was like the first intro, and they didn't come out with a video after that. So I would say the people that were there were it was basically like, all right, here's what Black van life has to show, because we would get a lot of flack from people saying, oh, why has it got to be about Black? And then many of the people that were there saying, we wouldn't have found you guys if we didn't type in BLACK into YouTube. And if you don't type it in, we're not gonna pop up. We're on the 30th page, so that helped us I would say rank up for people who are actually looking for Black van life. So was there anything else?
Yeah, I did have something to say. And when we were discussing, like, joking around the idea of living in our van at the jacuzzi, we was just like, we did it before, but I never knew that people lived in their vehicle. I thought that, I've seen people live in their cars because, they had to and they were homeless, but I've never seen what I saw once Lavelle showed me that there was a whole van life community out there of white folks just living in these sprinters and all this beautiful stuff. I had no clue, and I was totally shocked. Totally shocked. And to see that it was actually a community out there, I was like, this is awesome. Yeah.
Excuse me.
Look at what the heck are you doing?
It was. We can't have those
Notifications
coming through like that. Oh my goodness. Whoever this person is keeps doing it. All at the same time. 3 different text messages.
Can you hear us still?
Yeah, you're good.
Okay. Yeah, I had no clue what the community was, and like I had no clue. So Black Vanlife. So as soon as we saw that it was a whole community of like white folks, we was just like, how are we gonna let our people know, Black people know about this lifestyle? Because for us, this lifestyle was only a tool for us to stack our money, get out of debt, and just show other Black people like, hey, you know, there's a different way that you can save your money, because you know it's hard to save your money if you're using it for rent. And so it was just like, you know, we have to show this lifestyle because this is amazing. At times it is bad, but you know, Black people need to know about this.
That's real, especially the stacking money part, because those Bay Area prices are crazy, super crazy.
We didn't even know about the Bay Area prices. When we moved, after we decided to move in the van, we didn't think about a single rent price. We didn't look at a single apartment. We took that trip after moving out of LA and came back. And then we're hearing that there is this gentrification epidemic and all of the problems that San Francisco and the Bay Area have. But, you know, we're kind of, you know, don't have to worry about that. So, yeah.
Were y'all in gentrification? Like, did y'all have problems with gentrification?
So we moved to Oakland 2 years ago, so 2017. And we lived like down by like Fox Theater. So it's kind of where, like, by the time we had gotten there, it had already essentially been gentrified, but it's happening more and more and more. And like, even where we lived in an older, like, kind of like, not brownstone looking, but like older building that has been there for a while. And so like our rent was $1,000 for a room versus people across the street from us were paying $2,800 for a studio. So it's just like we had the cheaper option, but it was still like crazy expensive.
$1,000 for a room, you out your mind.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's even like moving into the van, even though like it's smaller than a room, it's still just the ability to have our own space, especially like our own kitchen where we can cook and like just be. It's worth it 100%.
So y'all have roommates?
Yeah. So I lived in an apartment with 3 bedrooms. So I had 2 roommates, and then Obina lived actually right in a building right next to me, but we had a patio that connected, so like we could walk to each other's rooms. We like ended up being really lucky because we had a really nice landlady who was making hella money, but she was very nice. So yeah, we had like the best version of it, but it was still like expensive. And yeah, it was nice to be in the city and get to know like, oh, what's the city downtown scene, but also realizing like that's not really what we're into. And that is like, it's fun for a second, but I want to do other stuff and be in nature.
Right. So is that how y'all met?
No, we actually met in college in New York City.
Oh, y'all just had different rooms with the roommates. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, because I had moved to Oakland first, and then Obina moved to Oakland. So we like moved at different times, but still same area. Yeah.
Dope.
And I got another question for y'all. while you've been, like, in the years that you've been in the van life community, versus whether it's van life community at large or the Black van life community, are there any like changes that you've noticed happen within the last few years?
Yes, more Black people. We see Black people all the time, whether they have a small following or a large following. It's so awesome to finally see Black people doing this lifestyle. And I'm not saying that, we have the most luxurious life, Black people, but to even see them start where they're at, like, it's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
There was a time where we didn't see nobody.
Yeah, and it's just, and they have cheap rigs, expensive rigs, their own sprinters, RVs,
Right.
And there was always the I think it was called AARV community, but it was like old folks, retired folks, buying very expensive RVs. So it was kind of a divide there. So in terms of being the scrappy, getting a van type, that was pretty cool because it really starts directly affecting how you can save your money and work towards either financial independence or um, trying to retire early or paying off debt. Excuse me. So
Yeah.
yeah,
And we saw, like, to see our soul agenda deliciously locked, like, to see Black couples now, that was so awesome because I feel like it's so hard to meet other couples. Like, I'm like, I don't want to hang around nobody single. Like, I want to stay with my man. Like, I don't want to lose him. It's so happy to see other couples because then it's like you never have that moment where it's like, you dealing with somebody single and they doing their thing and you don't want to get into that temptation. So it's so great to see couples, van life couples. Black van life.
temptation. What you talking about?
Well, I'm saying temptation because with single people, they have a different mindset on relationships. And, if you hang with a single person at a club, what you think gonna happen?
Downtown life.
You know what I mean? So I just love that.
Yeah, you gonna be like,
it's
I wanna
couples
go
now.
back to my van. My wife she's not in the van.
I'm done with you.
That's hilarious. That's real though, that there really are so many, like, yeah, just every day that I'll like look on the Black Van Life hashtag on Instagram, like, I feel like every day there are more and more and more people. And yeah, especially the part about people having less expensive rigs to really expensive rigs. So you really get to see the diversity within Black people and the reasons why we are choosing to do this, which is, yeah, really awesome to see our own community grow in that way.
Right. And people may think it's a racist thing to say Black van life, but I think we're all targeting a certain crowd. Like, we all gonna get lost in the whole van life community if we don't say, hey, Black van life, so that certain people can see it, your journey.
Yeah, we don't. I mean, it's great that our following is diverse, but do you need to see our stuff? I mean, there's thousands of channels of, if you want to see Spencer Sprinter, if you want to see West Folia, if you want to see Sportsmobile, there's hashtags, there's blogs, YouTube channels, even I'm sure HDTV, the Travel Channel, all of those things, large following, large market videos. Do you want to see our kind of intimate way of communicating with our community? And are we making this for you? Not really. We're making this for a smaller, more gentrified community. so, so yeah, that's our take.
That's real. That resonates a lot because I feel like that's part of the reason why we are showing our journey, but also interviewing specifically Black van lifers because we want people to be able to see, like, whether it's like your journey, whether it's our journey, being able to see parts of themselves in whatever type of van life they choose.
Right.
Yeah, trying to get like our rich journey. Couple, great couple from Oakland, doing their thing. So we're trying to get trying to get to that place right there. Yeah.
That's real. And I know that you guys have put like general stop date to when you will stop van life and move on to something next. So can you talk a little bit about what you all are thinking about, whether it's living wise, whether I know you guys have business plans as well, whatever you'd like to share about what you have after van life.
Yeah, so definitely van life was only supposed to be 2 years. Well, it's actually supposed to be 3 months for me because I didn't think I was gonna be able to last to this lifestyle. Now it turned into 2 years. Then now we're going on 3.
Yeah.
But in 2 more years, we're gonna be completely done with school, and we're still deciding on whether we want to buy property or land or buy a tiny home on wheels, because all of those, like we get the VA loan, so we automatically, get a good deal on a loan. And with the tiny wheels on,
I don't know about a good deal, but no closing costs.
well, yeah, that's what I mean by a good deal. I think that's a good deal with no closing costs.
Yeah.
And the tiny home on wheels, that still gives us the ability to move around. So we're trying to figure out, we want to be stationary or we want to just continue to move around as much as possible.
Yeah, but the plan to purchase the tiny home on wheels was a uh, cash journey, because you could buy the trailer, you build it yourself with the money we saved, or go into debt and make it good debt,
Right.
and purchase an investment property, multifamily property, or new development of some sort. Um, but our main plan is still to buy a quadplex, finance a quadplex, live in it for a year with the VA home loan, increase the property by hopefully 50% occupancy, uh, do house hacking in one of them,
Yeah.
increase the property value of the unrented property, and then before we move out, increase the property value of the one we were living in, move out, rent those 2 units, cash flow on that property, do it again and again and again. It's called the the burr. That was the first time I did that to describe it, but yeah. The burr. And repeat. So, and then that's when we spread out and do stuff around the country. And then in the meantime, we're focusing on our production company mainly. So, yeah, hopefully we can give those off to property management companies and then work on making films and projects. Yeah.
I see y'all with a generational wealth plan.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, because I definitely come from a poor background. Like, my dad didn't even finish high school. My mom, I don't know what she did. And, we definitely feel that it's important to, like, have money for for our kids to come, because without your parents helping you get set up for life, it's just like, who do you talk to and where do you find these people to help you? You basically almost like stuck. You don't have no mentors, no nothing. And that was definitely important for us, so we know how important it is for kids.
Yeah, mentorship is a big thing. There are gonna be some young business starters with an actual mentor, because they're like, especially for teenagers, mentors are life changers. Life changers. Yeah. So of course we gonna have industry connections and friends in high places that we can say, all right, junior, or I mean, I'm the junior, so if they're, I mean, that's if it's a boy. If it's a girl, whatever, I don't know. We haven't. It's not easy because my name and my dad's name are the same. So send them off and then have them do their thing. And not worry about whether or not we are doing what we're supposed to do to develop their future and support them in the best way we can.
Right.
We need no debt by that time, and we need assets.
It's not even necessary that we don't need no debt. We need the good debt.
Well, yeah, that's no consumer debt. Hopefully, no personal debt. Everything is owned by businesses because your property, your LLC in those. In our films are LLC in those, so hopefully no debt unless it's good debt, like you said.
Debt.
Yeah.
That's real. That's real. And so I want to thank you both for taking the time to chat with me and whoever's going to watch this as well. Before we leave, I wanted to ask you all if there's anything you want to highlight that you have upcoming, just letting the people know what you got going on, where they can follow you to stay looped in on your journey.
You can stay looped in on our YouTube channel every day. We do lives on there. And on there, nearly every live, we're pushing the Black Nomads Meet up in Georgia. And we're going to be doing a police safety workshop. And Paris is going to be on that Vanlife Q&A. So if you want to ask her questions in the flesh, then you can do so. And then we're also going to be filming that. So if you want to see us do what we do, we're going to be filming it. And we're bringing an assistant because we're doing a workshop again, hold the camera while we're doing the workshop. But yeah, so also check out the Real Realities of Van Life video. If you go to www.novelculture.com, it's going to be the first featured link there, and then the blog is there as well. It's about the real realities of van life. So check that out.
Yep.
Well, from our perspective.
So I hope that you enjoyed this interview with Novel Kulture. Be sure to subscribe to them on YouTube and to like and follow them on Instagram as well. Also, Destination Black, this project has its own Instagram profile. You can go to destination.black on Instagram and you'll find it. So give us a follow there too if you enjoy this project that I'm doing in particular, so that I can know and that I can feel supported and keep on making these videos. Thank you.